Hello.
Hello, Gary.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary, it's Devin here. You probably received a few phone calls about this, but for whatever reason, it doesn't look like things got updated correctly here. It looks like you responded to a request on Facebook about possibly looking to the new state regulated life insurance programs. Your daughter Ashlyn is your beneficiary, right?
Yeah.
Okay, were you looking for anything specific or just wanting to go over all your options?
Um, no, I wasn't looking for anything specific. I want to cover funeral expense, and
Uh-huh.
I'd like to. I don't have no major debt or anything,
That's good
but
to
I would
hear.
like to. I would like to leave for my children.
Okay, so let's say, were you looking to just cover the
So, okay, couple things. A little bit,
Mm-hmm.
dude, intro on point. Next thing right there, ask the question like, I guess were you looking for anything like a little bit more upbeat, right? Awesome. I guess were you looking for anything specific or just kind of wanting to go over all your options? Like instead of like awesome. Were you looking to it's just like the tone, like very welcoming and like warm to where they're coming in and leaning in. But other than that, dude, the intro was locked, bro. That's awesome. Good stuff. And you did act really confused. So that's huge, right? All right, let's keep going.
final expenses or
So, and then also what's nice is that he ended up coming out with his beneficiary real early, right? That's huge. So, especially with that beneficiary, bro. Yeah, I'm looking for my son. Now you have leverage, dude. He gave it to you right away. So let's keep going on this though.
possibly also leave a little extra money for your family also, like a little
Yeah.
goodbye I love you gift. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, gotcha. And do you have any coverage in place currently or not yet?
And no, I don't. I'll tell you a story. I've been a licensed funeral director for 44 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know what happened. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there.
And so everything to me, is like very discounted and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. Uh, so, no, I don't have it.
Okay, so are you trying to get like a life insurance policy to pay out so you can take advantage of the discounts you offer yourself? Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, anything with.
I don't know what that question was.
Yeah, thinking back, because he said he was getting like he could get himself a discount because he was like a funeral director. I was like, so you just want like a life insurance policy to pay out so you can get like these coupons, I guess, the discount you want. I don't know. It's
Okay.
kind of confusing question.
Oh yeah. So I would just say like, well, that's awesome. And I guess like just being more like fluid, it sounds like kind of going through the script, like just a
Hmm.
script instead of being more personable. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. And then kind of going through. Warm, just warm, right? Upbeat.
Okay.
Smiling through the phone, dude.
That counts, of course.
Okay.
I like term insurance.
Okay, well, I actually offer a whole life insurance.
Okay, so right there, that's awesome. I guess why term?
Hmm.
Why term specifically? Because yeah, that's awesome, right? And like, and do you kind of know the difference between term and whole life, or um, and then they'll say whatever they think, and then there's a belief shift that you can have there. But I wouldn't just say, yeah, so I actually offer whole life. It's like there's no ground there with you two, right? So
Okay.
what I'd say there is, oh, that's awesome. Okay. And why I guess term specifically? That's a question I'd add in there.
Yeah. Can I ask you why you're interested in term?
Lower monthly payments.
Okay. Um, it is like lower monthly payment here, Gary, but term terminates, right?
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
the lower monthly payments they actually go up with your age. Were you aware of that?
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, it's not like I haven't looked into this.
hmm Okay, well, have you ever looked into whole life?
So I'd ask, oh, that's awesome. Okay, good deal. And what's kind of held you back from getting coverage in the past? Because it sounds like this has been important to you for a little bit now. What's kind of you
Mm.
prevented you from getting coverage in the past? Right? Like digging deeper a little bit more. Because like
Okay.
how it feels is like you're coming in and you're just wanting to sell something rather than solve the problem, right? You're wanting to sell what you have rather than like actually help him.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I should like discover more, try to
Yeah.
dig deeper.
Yeah, like here you don't want to um like just stay with them, right? Be in agree, like stay in agreement with them. There's no you don't have to disagree here, right? Like just
Mhm.
listen to hear him out and actually listen, right? And then try to figure out exactly where his headspace is at. That's kind of what the first part of the call is. Figure out where their headspace is at.
Insurance and the benefits of whole life?
Yeah, but like I say, the monthly premium is what scared me away from that.
Mm,
Okay.
that makes
Well,
sense.
I
But
actually do.
senior income now is not what it used to be. I used to make uh 6 figures a year, but I don't anymore.
Okay. Well, Gary, I actually do specialize
That's fair. Yeah, that's fairly common when people come to us.
with working with people on very fixed
Good stuff. This is what I'd say next.
incomes like Social Security, disability, lower incomes. Would you
Hmm.
say you're kind of in that same spot too?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, my rent alone is 16.95.
Mm, sounds
You
like
know,
you're
but this
living
is
pretty good, Gary.
well, there's nursing care and things of that nature here too.
Mhm.
You get
Okay.
blood tests done here. Uh, it's a retirement center, senior retirement center.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Well, let me kind of explain how this process works. It's actually really simple. So, I am a state licensed underwriter.
Oh, one other question I'd ask earlier, or you could
Mhm.
ask in Discovery, and I don't know if you did or not, right? But saying, I guess what were you looking for this coverage to do for you, Gary?
Okay.
Like just kind of like I know you mentioned the final expenses, like were you like looking to go more down the traditional burial route or more kind of the cremation route? And he'll say whatever he does. Awesome. So I mean, ideally, how much coverage were you looking for? And then he'll say whatever he does, right? Um, and then you can build kind of a you can build value with that and figure out something to be able to actually help him here.
And my job is to basically let you know. And just to confirm, you do live in Michigan, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and what's this for? Okay, well, have you had anything happen with your heart at all? Any history of heart? Really easy for you.
Medications.
Okay, so you can really understand what kind of, yeah, and I talked to a lot of people, Gary, and
Mhm.
her name is Ashlyn, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I need to
22322.
be based on cost.
So with that number, you can actually go to the Department of Insurance website and find me, all right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Gary, can you,
You like I would add the just so you know, like I'll be your agent for life. Like it's super important to
Okay.
me. That's just another trial clause and assuming it. Because if they're like, well, we'll see, you want kind of a reaction out of I know like usually when I say that, I'm able to be like, boom, dude, like I got him. If they're like, okay, that sounds great.
Mm.
Then it's like, dude, it's over. Deal's closed, right? So
Mhm.
we just need to find something that's gonna fit their needs, and obviously, like it's done. So that's why I say it's just kind of a trial close to use.
walk me through what got you motivated to start looking for life insurance? Like, what's the main concern here?
Yeah, obviously I need to get some kind of a product in place.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, everything's going to be based on cost.
Yes, sir.
It's Social Security only pays so much, and you have to make everything come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's
You want to get them out of cost-based thinking or results-based thinking, right? Product, like what it's actually going to do, value-based. So like here, that's when you ask also, or you could ask up front, but like that here you want them to say like you want to ask, I guess what were you looking for this coverage to do for you, right? If you haven't already said this, that's a great question to figure out exactly where his headspace is at.
I'll be rigorously honest with you. That's where I'm at.
Okay, and who would be your beneficiary if something, God forbid, were to happen to you, Gary?
My daughter, Ashlyn,
Daughter?
ESH daughter.
Why is it
Awkward
so-
pause here.
Huh?
I couldn't really hear you.
Her name is Ashlyn, correct?
Yeah, Ashlyn Wagner,
Ashlyn Wagner. Okay.
married name.
He's showing real serious interest in buying,
And
Here.
can I be transparent?
especially when they're like, dude, yeah, it's Ashlyn, and then they say the last name without you even saying anything. It's like
Mhm.
they want something real bad.
with you here, Gary.
Sure.
Your daughter is really lucky to have a father like you that's just thinking ahead.
Yeah, so throughout this whole thing, the biggest thing is being personable, right? And like upbeat and like just like excited to be like happy to be talking with them, right? Taking care of them. It's like your energy level needs to like increase a little bit and like more welcoming.
Sounds like you just want to make sure she doesn't have to worry about it, and that she
Yeah.
can be prepared. And
Yeah, I have 3 kids. 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, and I talk to a lot of people, Gary, and some people really just don't mind acting like the stuff doesn't exist. And they don't want to think
Yeah.
about it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. But, like with me, I might be an exception to the rule here because I've dealt with it all my life.
Oh
Mm.
wow.
Since I was 16 years old, I worked in a funeral home.
Okay, so you can really understand what kind of burdens this can be all on a child if
I would expand on that a little bit, right? Like, oh wow, yeah, it sounds like you've been through a lot. I mean, it's probably not the most fun job ever. I mean, has that had like an impact on you personally?
Okay.
Right? You want to like with this person, you want to go down and like talk about feelings, right? Like, man, that's a lot. Like, I mean, you've like it sounds like you've seen a lot. Like, has like a lot of loss pretty much in your life from a young age. I mean, has that had like an impact on you personally, Gary?
Mm.
And like, I guess like, can I ask like, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, right? But can I ask if something were to happen, and your daughter had to really take care of that? I guess what would that do for you as a father, knowing that you didn't take the steps necessary to protect your family?
Yeah, I definitely need to add that.
That's not in the script, right? But like that's
Mhm.
just stuff that you want to dive deeper a little bit in there, right? Go in there.
Okay.
He's like, right, like how I'm hearing it and my signals right now are like he's opening up the gate, bro. You just have to go through it, right? And ask more questions. Dive deeper in there. I mean, it sounds like you've been through a lot and I mean, a lot of loss for sure. I mean, if your daughter had to kind of pay for that and really come out of pocket, like, would she be able to financially pay for that or kind of walk me through that a little bit? And then he'll say yes or no, whatever it says. I mean, do you want that to be the case if that doesn't have to?
Mhm.
Right. So dive a little bit deeper in there. Here for sure.
they don't really take care of it. Is that what I'm kind of hearing, Gary?
Sure. Absolutely. I used to see it every day.
Mm. And can I ask, like, how come this is so important?
So, dude, you're doing a really good job following the script. I commend you for that. But it's too much. There's a level of like flexibility to where it's like that's the script, you follow it. But there's some
Mm-hmm.
things that like if he's opening up the door, walk through it with him, right? You don't want to be
Okay.
so like there where it's like he's saying something that actually relates to the conversation and you just like you just it doesn't sound like you're actually listening to him. Does that
Okay.
make
So I have
sense?
to like freestyle a little bit more, you would say?
A little bit more, not don't go crazy, right? Like a lot of people will veer way off and then they'll never come back. But kind of walk down a little bit and be a normal person. Oh wow, like that's awesome. 3 kids? That's that's really cool, right? And it's
Okay.
talking about that, right? I mean, it sounds like all three of them are lucky to have you, right? Like I didn't even know you had the other ones, but like they're all lucky to have you. And I mean, it sounds like if something were to happen, you just don't want to make sure you want to make sure that none of them like are having to be left with this financial burden. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Uh, I just have to work on my free game a little bit. Yeah, cause yeah, I can't admit when I do stick to the script like too hard, it feels like harder to like break them down and like it's like really surface level. So yeah, if I do start freestyling a little bit, get them to open up a little bit more, it'll be way better.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're sticking to the script, which is good, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
be okay having a little bit more like of a conversation there for sure. Izzy, what's up, bro?
So freestylings or whatever is harder for me too. Like, is
Yeah.
there any way to like practice that or like learn signals or ways to ask the right question?
I mean, I would just be genuinely curious in the person, right? Like
Hmm.
we're not trying to like sell a product, we're trying to help a person. So like
Hmm.
when that's my mindset, I'm just trying to figure like talk through stuff with them, right? Like, oh, 3 kids, that's awesome. And like what one thing I'd say is like just practice when you're around people, right? Like when you're working at the store or when you guys are out and about, like or you're talking to a friend, like I'm always practicing my question asking. Like even though I'm not trying to sell them, right? Like I'm just like, "Oh, that's awesome. Like you work in the Air Force?" Like what and just being genuinely curious about the person because when you do that, it shows that you're actually attentive, right? And
Hmm.
like these people with when you're talking to them being heard is a huge thing. And
Yeah.
so you asking like, I mean, Izzy, that's awesome that you got 3 kids now. Are they like all kind of the same age or were they a little bit spread out or like, oh, do they all live with you there? Or oh, it's awesome. Do you guys see each other a lot or not really anymore? Right? Just asking those types of questions,
Yeah.
right? So like when they say something, I like to ask a follow-up question because that shows you actually are listening. And it's reinforcement to them like that you are listening. So when it does come down to crunch time, when it does come down to them actually spelling out a little bit more, you're reinforcing that like you're here listening.
Yeah. There was this one girl at the club. She was like, "Oh my God, you have amazing questions." I was like, "Thank you." What?
Dude,
It has
that
nothing
just
to do with it, but the asking questions part.
yeah, bro, closer right there, straight up.
Uh,
So but yeah, that's what I'd say, right? Is asking a follow-up question. And you know, right? It's hard like it's harder, I think, in sales to do it when you feel like you're in a sales role, but like if you're just kind of it's just kind of the way of life when you hear something and you're like, "Wait, can you kind of expand on that a little bit?" Like that's when I stop somebody and what they're saying and you make them
Mm-hmm.
like continue going, it's like, "Oh, this guy is actually listening to me."
Okay.
So, does that help a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. You gotta freestyle a little bit more. Ask follow-up questions and really dig deeper into like their why.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's not like I don't know. I try to say like make this process as natural as possible,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, just make it natural. So let's keep
For
going.
you.
Well, it's one of those things in life that, for lack of better words, it is on your bucket list and you want to be able to scrape it off, that you have everything covered.
Okay. That's really good to hear that you really want to take care of everything so the next generation doesn't have to deal with that here.
Yeah. I'm a very proactive person. I'm very driven, and
Hmm.
I know what
Build them up. Yeah, it seems like it.
has to be done, and I don't stop until it is done.
Okay, and remind me again, you do not have any coverage, correct?
I do not, no.
Okay. Well,
Another thing I would ask is like, obviously, like Gary, it sounds like price is really important to you, which most people it is, but like, besides the price, like what's kind of the main thing that's kind of held you back from getting approved for life insurance in the past? Right? Like you can literally sidestep the whole objection by like saying that aside, right? Like money aside or
Mhm.
like price aside, right? Because life insurance, it's just it is what it is. I'm going to do the best I can for you, but like besides the price, what's kind of the most important thing to you about having a policy or something like that to really be able to expand on value and just not have a price
God
conversation?
forbid if anything were to happen to you this week, would Ashland be the one responsible going to the funeral home, talking to the funeral director, and paying
Oh
for
yeah,
things?
she'd be in charge. All my her and my two boys would all be involved.
Okay, and would she be in a position where she can come out of pocket for
Good
these
question.
thousands of dollars for the final expenses?
Oh yeah,
Or-
she's a registered nurse, charge nurse at the hospital, and her husband's a mortgage broker.
Oh, what a blessing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
I guess.
they make it. Believe me.
Mhm. Well, I guess. Well, then, if she can cover the cost, why the need for life insurance, then, Gary?
Good question, bro.
I don't
Great
feel as though
question.
she should have to. She has a family of her own. Those monies
Uh-huh.
should be directed towards her family,
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
awesome.
not to take care of her dead. There's no
Mm.
reason
Sure.
why I can't take care of myself.
Mhm. So it sounds like you just really don't want to pass that financial burden onto your family if you don't have to. Is that right?
That's 100% right. Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm
And I
sure that
won't.
yes, sir. And I'm sure that you would agree that having something in place would be a lot better than having nothing in place, correct, Gary?
Well, it'd be peace of mind.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And were you looking to go down the traditional burial route or more the
Yeah.
cremation
Yep.
route
Oh,
here?
no. I'm very traditional Italian Catholic.
Oh, wow.
We did a visitation and funeral in the church, and oh yeah.
Okay, and so if we could find something that fits inside your budget and was also able to make sure your final expenses were paid for, is there anything holding you back to see if we can get you qualified, Gary?
Price.
Well, the only thing that would hold me back is I don't make any decisions anymore unless I talk with my daughter,
Okay.
and for obvious reasons. I'm getting older, and
Mhm.
my thinking isn't as sharp as it once was,
Mhm.
and so I just choose to make sure that like a sounding board, that yes, indeed, this is the right decision for me to make.
Okay. Haha. And just
Well, now you got now you got another objection,
Mhm.
right? So now it's like, honestly, the price is the price, dude. It just is. But like the daughter thing, that now he's just what I feel is about to happen. I don't know, but what I think will happen is he's going to talk about price. If you're able to overcome that, he's going to talk about his daughter. Like, hey, I need
Yeah.
to talk to her. So let's like, those are two objections that you kind of need to overcome or obstacles here at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, would she be against you getting life insurance? Would she be against being able to like have coverage in place? Like when that time did come, would she be mad at you if she got a check? instead of a bill when you did pass. And so that's kind of what I'd ask there, but I would just kind of keep going a little bit, see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of how you overcome those obstacles
Take
there.
a step back and remind you, I actually do specialize with working with people on very fixed incomes like Social Security, disability. You said you're on Social Security, correct?
Yeah, retirement, Social Security retirement.
Okay. Yeah,
Now
between you
I
and
have
hmm
now I have a pending claim with disability.
Okay.
I don't know what the outcome of that will be.
hmm
It has been denied once,
Okay.
and but my attorney is driven. He says, if
hmm
anybody deserves this, you do, and he says we'll take it as far as going to court with it. Which is an option that Social Security offers.
Yes,
So
sir.
push comes to shove, we'll be going to court.
Definitely fight for what you believe you deserve, right, Gary?
Yes, I will. And I see so many of these people collecting this,
hmm
and my God, they're better health than, anything I've ever seen. And here I can barely get around, and they deny, which I was told everybody is always denied the first time.
Okay,
So
well,
I'm not feeling segregated by any means.
okay.
But I say,
So she can really have funds on hand to really make sure that you in the state of Michigan, we have up to 30 days to make any necessary changes to your policy, all right? So
okay,
if you wanted to go up in coverage, you can, but most importantly, if you want to go down in
give me a point of reference here. Let's hypothetically
looking a little too high,
give me a point of reference here. Let's hypothetically plug in, if you can,
uh-huh.
$100,000 in coverage.
Okay.
How old is this guy?
65.
65?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could write a term.
So yeah, I don't know how.
You could. But I don't know. This is where I'd say, oh yeah, that's not a problem. I could pull that up now. But I guess like when you say 100,000, I guess what were you looking for that to do for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he actually answered. He wanted 15K for his burial. Then he wanted to leave his 3 kids 30,000 each. And he was pretty like stuck on that.
Why 30,000? Why not
Yeah,
20,000?
I don't know.
Or 35,000?
Might as well say why not 100? Up it more.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, $100,000 is looking a little too high. How much do you plan on budgeting a month for life insurance, Gary?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure.
That's
A company I have dealt with, not dealt with, but have spoken to, several times. I
Yes,
have a
sir.
number from them, but this is term insurance. Now, you don't deal with term insurance, do you?
No, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did they tell you how long that term lasts, Gary?
20 or 30 years, something like that.
I
20,
doubt it.
20 years? Okay, let's say you are a relatively healthy man here, Gary. Let's
Yeah.
say you do get that term policy, and it sounds like you're actually are in a good living area too, where they help you out, take care of you. Let's say you do take that term policy and you outlive it, and it terminates on you. What would you do then, Gary?
Great question.
Well, I see. Yeah, 20 years to my age right now. That's 85 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe I'm going to make it that long.
Okay, well, you'll never know God's grace, right, Gary?
No, you don't. No, you don't. And I'm a firm believer in that. But at this point in my thinking, that was the best way for me to do. Well, I'll
Mhm.
tell you exactly what this was. It was
Mhm.
$100,000,
Mhm.
immediate coverage. I was accepted.
Mhm.
My monthly payment was $139 a month.
139.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's what I'd say here. Oh wow, that's awesome. I mean, that's a really good rate. Why didn't you go with that one?
Mm-hmm.
Did you accept that offer, Gary?
No, I didn't spend nothing yet.
Okay. Was it because it is a term and you really don't know if you'll outlive it, or was that the main concern there?
No, it wasn't. But like I say, the bottom line here is I don't make any decisions anymore unless my family is involved. And that's just the way I operate on everything, no matter what it is.
Yes, sir. I'm not asking for any commitments right now. I'm just letting you know your options here.
Yeah.
And I really just want to take care of you here, Gary.
I would say, yeah, it sounds like family's really important to you, but I guess like how did they feel about the $100,000 offer?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you go with that? I mean, it sounds like it's a really good rate. I mean, there's nothing that we could do like with whole life that would even touch that, but like what kind of held you back from going with them?
Gary.
Sure, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So, looking around here, um, some more monthly numbers around that ballpark.
Mhm.
For let me see, 140 a month. It's looking like $25,677 here. And if we take a step back to 120 a month, that would be $21,000, 923 on top of that. Well, Gary, I know you said you wanted to take care of your burial, and that you wanted to leave a little extra money for your kids here. Can I ask, if you do end up going with the term policy and you're spending 20 years paying into it, and it doesn't pay out, what would your family end up doing if it doesn't pay out?
Well, we would pick up the expenses then.
Wow, but that's not a really option you want to put them through, right, Gary?
No, it's not. Not definitely not.
Well, there's a statistic about term insurance where it only pays 1% of the time. I know that might sound crazy, but like that's
I
really
love
how.
it, Devin.
All
You're
right, so
fighting.
yeah,
I
so
love
I would
it.
say like this is the deal's kind of done here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The deal's been done, but I think the moral of this story, and like the thing that you can take out of it is be more personable, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're going through when you're going through this part, right? Like when you're going through the script, don't feel like you have to like only say words from the script. Like you can talk about different things, but like you want to stay in that framework, right? So that's what the first one, be more personable, be more open, right? Warm, welcoming. Another thing, right, is being able to hear is figuring out exactly what they're doing for it way before. And then I would try to figure out, okay, like that's awesome. I mean, have you kind of looked around for a little bit and haven't been approved, or kind of walk me through that a little bit? This is in the fact finding, right? Because you already pitched. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
done. So like this is what I'm talking about, obstacles versus objections. The obstacle part, before you close, you can kind of work through that a little bit. He has a little bit more trust in you, but now that you pitched, it's over. Now it's just like out. Now it's just like, okay, there's not really much convincing you're going to be able to do at that point. So that's
Okay.
why you try to figure that out beforehand. You ask good questions. go a little bit deeper with them, right? A little bit more emotionally deeper, and then and figure that out a little bit more. And then some people, dude, are gonna be stuck there. Some people are gonna be stuck on term. And if you
Mhm.
can't do term, I'd write it, right? Like if he really is dead set because somebody's gonna write it. But I'm not, that's not my goal at all. Like I'm gonna
Okay.
be like, I mean, were you looking for something where like the rate's gonna change like a few times, and that might not even pay out and might terminate on you, or are you looking for something where I guess the rate never changed, the coverage always stayed the same, and it's guaranteed to be able to make sure that your family's protected? Kind of walk me through that a little bit.
Mhm.
Or how do you feel? That's what I'd say. So, other than that though, dude, great questions. Like you had good questions that you asked, right? I would just say if you can use those things in your next call, dude, I think that's closed.
Sweet, man. Appreciate it.